to the Imam of the age. They always advanced forth with the message of peace. Therefore, you who are born Ahmadis, you can never repay this noble example of your elders with your thanks. True gratitude demands that just as they were always ready to sacrifice their lives and their wealth and never allowed a breach in their oath of allegiance, you too should fulfill your pledge and never break any promise. Only then would you become a source of contentment for their souls. If your ancestors vied with each other in accepting Ahmadiyyat, then to maintain these pioneers firmly in that foremost rank, you too will have to work just as hard in putting fresh life in your prayers and maintaining your links with the Nizam-e-Jamaat, the organization of the Jamaat. If you do not do so, you will be a source of shame for your ancestors. Therefore, always remember that you have to tread along the footsteps of your elders and scale new heights in your loyalty and do justice to your oath of allegiance. In this way, the newcomers, who have no doubt entered the faith after recognizing the truth, who I hope are improving in their sincerity and devotion, must always remember that they will only benefit from embracing Ahmadiyyat when their lives begin to show a reformation. If there were no distinction between an Ahmadi and others, then there would be no point to perform the Bai'at and become an Ahmadi. It is no matter of pride to claim that you are an Ahmadi. If you are an old Ahmadi, it shall be a matter of pride if you are abiding by the true teachings of Ahmadiyyat. If you are a new Ahmadi, your Bai'at will be a source of pride for both you and me only if you are acting in full compliance with the teachings of the Prophet Messiah alayhi salam and the expectations he had of you. Those expectations are the ones that fall under the domain of the Holy Quran. What is the domain of the Holy Quran? The domain of the Holy Quran is that which teaches one to become an exemplary man who discharges the rights and obligations due to both Allah, that is called Hukukul Ibad, Hukukullah, and His creation, that is to say, Hukukul Ibad. The purpose of this Jalsa that we are holding today, as told to us by the founder of the Jamaat, the Prophet Messiah alayhi salam, is that we should enhance our religious knowledge and also create a relationship with Allah and strengthen our ties and relationship with each other with love and affection. If we have not gathered here with that aim and objective, then our coming here is pointless. The Prophet Messiah alayhi salam said that this Jalsa is not like a worldly fair that need be organized just for the sake of it. He further stated that the real purpose for which he planned the Jalsa was reformation of mankind. How is that reformation to be brought about? Firstly, remember the purpose for which God has created man. Pointing to that purpose, Allah the Exalted says in the Holy Quran, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. And I have not created the jinn and the men, but that they worship me. The Prophet Messiah alayhi salam says that according to this verse, the real purpose of man's life is to worship God, gain knowledge about God, and to become wholly His. So this is the foremost purpose of one's life that every Ahmadi should keep in his mind. In another place, the Almighty Allah has told us that man is the most eminent of all creation, and as such serves a very high purpose. Eating, drinking, sleeping, sensual pleasures are not the purpose of life of man. These are animal desires. Those who do not understand the worship of God therefore become beasts or even worse. So remember always that a successful person is one who worships God. Once we achieve that goal, we will work towards gaining his pleasure and develop into persons who are beneficial to others. A real servant of God acts upon his commandments that have been specified in the Holy Quran in great detail. An Ahmadi must engage himself heartily into achieving that basic goal. I will mention a few basic characteristics that Islam wants to inculcate in us so that we become good Ahmadi Muslims and good human beings. Allah says, beware of falsehood, for liars are the root, for lies are the root of all evils. Indeed, falsehood separates you away from the worship of God. Allah the Exalted says, فَاجْتَنِبُوا الرِّجْسَ مِنَ الْأَوْثَانِ وَاجْتَنِبُوا قَوْلَ الزُّورِ. Shun therefore the abomination of idols and shun false speech. Allah adds that liars set partners with Allah. They do not worship God, they worship others. If they end up in some trouble, they think lies instead of God will save them. A virtuous worshipper of God must always stand firm on truth. If speaking the truth results in some loss, he should tolerate it. After all, one suffers loss for many other reasons, yet one bears it. Therefore, if you suffer loss or even get punished for truth, and accept it wholeheartedly only because Allah has equated the telling of lies with idolatry, it will attract Allah's pleasure towards you because you did it for the sake of earning His pleasure. Allah will reward you for that. One virtue is patience and forbearance with fortitude. If one is patient, one escapes many evils. Many a misunderstanding and quarrel results from impatience. Therefore, an Ahmadi should exercise tolerance and show patience. If somebody utters something that hurts your feelings, tolerate it patiently. If we adopt that policy, many a dispute would be resolved at the very outset. If one looks into most family disputes, be they between husband and wife or between brothers, one finds that they are childish disputes. There was fighting between two tribes in the Upper East, I think, some time ago. What was that? It was no more than impatience and lack of forbearance and fortitude. That resulted in the loss of life and property. It is the impatience and lack of tolerance that puts the educated and uneducated on equal footing. The strife we see everywhere in the world today, where people are killing each other and nations have attacked other nations, is all due to a lack of forbearance. The world is heading towards disaster. Ahmadis have to save the world today. For that, we will have to inculcate the habit of patience and forbearance so that Ahmadis become standard bearer of peace for every section. Then there is a habit of backbiting. What is backbiting? To talk ill of someone behind his back when he is not there is a sin. Allah says, وَلَا يَغْتَبْ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا أَيُحِبُّ أَحَدُكُمْ أَنْ